Buenos dias, bonjour. It's Sunday, it's that time. I don't know, I woke up a bit tired this morning, and I think that's because I went to bed late, and then I set my alarm for 6:30, which is a little bit early. I was hoping I could sleep in a little bit. Well, I should have, but I needed to go to the store, as I always do, on Sundays. Oh my. And nothing went like I expected, okay? So I've had to regroup. Good morning. Regroup, change my mind and change the menu. Deborah, buenos dias. ¿Cómo está mi amiga? Now remember, Deborah, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. I'm gonna be taking a short trip out of town. So keep that in mind for our Monday workout. A holiday here again in Panama, and we are going to, I'm gonna go catch another parade outside of the city. Good morning, good morning. But anyway, guys, I need to tell you, I decided, good morning, yes. I was thinking, eating what to cook because, I'm back to whole food plant-based. And it's a lot more challenging to create recipes when you're not having meat, right? So I was like, okay, what could I do? And then Greta said, another soup. But we've made so many soups. And I said, well, let's see if I could do something else. And then she suggested lentil. And I'm like, yeah, because lentils are good. It's a good substitute for protein, just like chickpeas, right? And it cooks so fast, and it's so versatile. So I was like, okay, I don't want to make lentil soup. Let's see, what else can I do with the lentil? I can do lentil burgers, I can do patties. And then I was watching, on YouTube, I just put lentil, and then this Indian guy from the UK started showing how to make something they call dal, D-A-L, which apparently is a very common lentil curry in Indian cuisine. So I don't cook Indian food much, but I want to start. Just like I don't do a lot of Asian because they use a lot of soy sauce. Good morning, Greta. You got your bowl. So I was like, let me see. And the curry was really good. Curry is just beans or peas with a liquid and some veggies, peppers or whatever. Oh, you love dal. So I said, okay, let me try to do that. But the recipe called for, cumin seeds, coriander, and I'm like, oh, I don't have all that. I have cumin powder. But cumin seeds, when you toast certain spices in Indian cuisine, they do that a lot, and it releases a lot more flavor. So I said, well, let me try that. And then I said, okay, I know my regular store may not have it, some of the spices. Let me go to another store in an area that's a little bit preppier, right? Because when you go to your store, to a Publix or to a Walmart, they do try to include items that the demographics, use. Let me tell you, it was such a waste of my time. I spent half the time looking for things. You know how you go to another store of the same name in a different area and you can't find anything? That was me. I was so frustrated going around and around saying, do they have this, do they have that? I don't see any tomatoes. And I think because we had a holiday that they hadn't stocked the shelves, it was a mess. And of course, I couldn't find any cumin seeds and finish something else. I'm like, okay, that was a total waste of time. So no more. And I walked there because, I looked at it. It's not too far from my house. So I looked at it as part of my workout, exercise. And then I walked back home. So I've got my steps in. So I said, okay, and then I was able to find the chili. I found some Japanese chili. I found, what else did I find? Nothing else had to do with that. And initially, I was gonna do a pea curry with tofu, because I've done that before and it's really good. I used a tofu like croutons, and it was really good. But anyway, so I think I was standing in the store saying, okay, now what am I gonna do with the lentils? I couldn't find the red lentil. All right, so I found a bag of yellow lentil. So I said, okay, we're going to cook these lentils and we're gonna make some patties. And then I said, with the patties, how about doing something a little different? So I said, oh, I found a nice bunch of romaine lettuce. So I said, okay, we're gonna be doing some lettuce wraps. And then I have a little bit of quinoa left. So we're gonna do the lettuce wrap, put the quinoa, and put like the patty. They're not gonna be big, I'm gonna make them small. And then I said, okay, if you have the patties, what else you're gonna put in there? You need a binder, you need some kind of a sauce. So I am going to make, so I found some sour cream. So we're not gonna use, of course, we're not gonna use mayonnaise. And the mayonnaise here does not taste like, it says Hellman, but it doesn't taste like Hellman. So we're gonna do a kind of the dressing with sour cream, some lime juice, and maybe some herbs. I still have some cilantro, and then they do that a lot here in Panama. They'll have this type of parsley, and then inside they'll put some cilantro, and they'll put some green onion. I'm telling you, I can't find the green onion, but if you buy a pack like this one, you'll find some a little bit. So I'm gonna use some of that in the dressing, and we're gonna put that on top of the patties and have our lettuce wrap. I told you, I'm only creative when it comes to food. And this is culantro, you guys, culantro. Okay, culantro, the leaves, and cilantro. Cilantro, kind of like parsley, okay? And bowling to make, yes, and bowling to make tea. I got to find the name of the seasoning. What seasoning? All right, so that's what we're doing. But in the with the patties, with the lentil, of course we got to dress it up. You have to put some breadcrumbs, and you need a binder to make it hold its body. So I usually like to put potatoes, but today I'm doing a mixture of sweet potatoes and what is it? Oh my God, the squash. So sweet potatoes and squash. You see the delay I have in my brain when I'm looking at something. It's like, what's the name of it? Do you do that? I tell you, just growing old is no fun, no joke. So I'm gonna put a little bit of oil. And then we're gonna put some salt and pepper. And that would be it on this. I have the oven on, and I already have the water for the lentil, salt, pepper. But anyway, it was like, okay, you gotta make your brain work this morning to figure out what you're gonna do with them lentils. So this week, because we only have a holiday tomorrow, I will go to Weber Smith or Organica to find those exotic Indian spices. Okay. I'm having some green tea with ginger. Now see, I can drink this unsweetened, but if it's coffee, I cannot. Okay, the other thing I need to do, and okay, what I want to do, I'm going to use this pretty bowl. We're going to do 4 lettuce wraps, but in the middle, I need a center, right? So in the center, I'm going to do like a really easy salad. I have cherry tomatoes, I have some cucumbers, and then I'm going to throw some of that pretty Spanish leaves, toss it in like a little vinaigrette, and put it in the middle, all right? Because we need a center. All right. So, if you recall, I bought a whole bag of Indian seasoning. Okay. Garam masala. Also, that was another thing I needed. Of course, now I'm going to find that there. So, I'm going to soak these tomatoes to clean them up. Last time I did, I put them in soap and water. Today I'm going to do vinegar and baking soda. You want to do that with some of your veggies so you can clean them and get all the grime off. Uh-oh, the water is ready for the lentil. I have to go wash the lentil now. Alrighty. Baking soda. Alright. So we're gonna rinse the lentil. And you know, it was funny when I was watching this person do the dal. They're like, you need to rinse the lentil 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, I've never done that. Because apparently there is a stickiness on the outer part of the lentil. I mean, I'll rinse it once, but 3 or 4 times, but anyway. Like, okay. So I'm going to do the whole pound. It's only 1 pound. And when you are making the dal, you do 2.5 times water to beans. And somebody else said 4 to 1. Everybody's got their own ideas. All right, gonna get the coriander. All right, we have the water here in my pretty Dutch oven. So I'm going to throw in there some garlic, and I think I have some celery, because you know, you want to season these lentils. And I made some stock today to cook the quinoa. All right, have the water ready for the quinoa. Now I bought these tomatoes. It was going to be if I was going to make that dal, so I don't need that now. I was thinking, I had my thinking cap on. It's like, what can I do? Okay. Got some peppers. We gotta use them before they go bad. So we're gonna put those in the lentil. Yes. All right. So that's what you do. When you have things in your kitchen, you want to use them before they go bad. All right, let's see. Celery. And garlic. Put some celery and 2 garlic cloves. Okay, so we're gonna let it cook. Shouldn't take long. All right. Okay. So now we need to do like, we're gonna saute some vegetables and garlic, and I bought some olives, some Italian olives, and oh, I love me some artichokes when I'm doing any kind of burgers. Which internet service I use? Well, that's who I have, my dear. It is bad. You know, T-Mobile also offers internet, but I don't know that I've heard great things about it. You know, Starlink is the one people here say is the best. But you know, it's, what's this guy's name's company, and I'm staying away from him. And somebody else had something else. PJ, there's another provider, but Tigo is the main one, but it's been horrible. I went like almost 2 days without internet 1 week. And but I haven't tried T-Mobile. I have T-Mobile for my cell phone, and they do a bundle like Tigo. Yes. I agree, Miss Glorious. That is so true. And then it's so versatile. And it cooks fast, and listen, that's a poor man's food. All right, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna chop some veggies, we're gonna saute some vegetables in here. I see I have some, what do they call those? I made those in the soup the other day, radishes. So I have some radishes, and I don't want them to go bad, so I'm gonna put them in there. I have some leftover red onions. We're gonna use that. That's what you do. When you go into your fridge and stuff, it's like, okay, what can I use? All right? So let's start doing some sauteing. And by the way, this is sunflower seed, not the seed, sunflower oil from the flower, not the seeds. All of a sudden now, you know, all the oils get a bad name. I don't believe all this stuff, but anyway. I love some extra virgin olive oil, so I got some this morning. It was on sale for like $12. It's not cheap. Now, the recipe I was looking at to make the dal, you have to get ghee. You know, they believe in ghee, clarified, but the ghee was like $12, $13. I'm like, oh, let me stick to the olive oil. There was a family here that said they were making ghee, and they were trying to sell them. But you know, I don't trust people who make things from home. When you go into Facebook Marketplace, people are selling coconut oil and this thing, like, no. At least if there's a recall or something, I know who to call. But from your own home, if I make it, it's one thing. But to be selling commercially and there is no oversight, I'm like, I don't know. You're welcome, Miss Thomas. It's like Wimpet, I think somebody said. And then this sister from our group said, I've used this so long, I have no issues. And then somebody said, oh, it's the worst service. So you know what? It doesn't matter. Hola. What do you think of grapeseed oil? Yes, they're pretty good, but they're super expensive. I use grapeseed oil for my hair oil, but I don't cook with it. So I'm not saying it's bad. Avocado oil is good, but it's super expensive. And you know, coconut oil is super expensive. So I'm like, you know, look at my age. Something will kill me. So I'm not going to go crazy, you know, spending money because I'm avoiding this, avoiding that. I just don't go, you know, for the latest craze. I don't do that. All right. Boy, we still have some of that red onion left. All right. So we want to put everything about this size. Remember, we want to be uniform. You don't want to have big old chunks and then small dices. Don't do that. Try to make everything look about the same. I had to go in front of the chef and they had that little measuring thing. They were measuring the dices. I mean, it was crazy. If you ever been to culinary school, you know about the tournaise. I used to have nightmares about tournaise. And I'm like, what is the point of doing that? You're wasting the food. I don't believe in wasting food either. So good. And I still have some hibiscus flower in there, in this tea, because I found it here. And now today I went to the store I went to, I saw bags and bags of it. And a bag is about $5 and change. It's not bad. Not bad at all. And then now in Panama, around the holidays, around Christmas, we're going to be making fresh sari, which is, I don't know if it's like the hibiscus, but this is the red flower, and then they sell it in bags. And then we take the pit out, and I'll show you guys when it's around that time. And then you boil it, and you make the tea out of it. And sometimes when you buy the bag, they give you the canela, which is the cinnamon sticks, and they put the ginger in there, in the bag. So it's like, this is how you make it. The only thing I don't like about it is that you have to put sugar in it, and you know. Hola, I'm fine, thank you. Imran. Okay. I see when my mom cooked. Oh yeah, listen, girl. My grandmother lived to be 94, okay? And, all right, Imran, message retracted. Keep retracting. And we used to cook with pork fat. They used to save it. And we used to put it in, when you cook the rice, make the best rice. Listen, I was raised on pig fat. Yes, I was. My grandmother used to make something we call andouille. She would take the pork and she would slice it thin, kind of like almost like the chorizo that they make here. And then they would put all the spices in there, the green onion, the onions, the garlic, and the hot peppers and salt and pepper. And then she would wrap it in a casing. So it was like a chorizo, but it was like bigger. And then when you were ready to cook your rice, you would take a slice out of that, and then you would fry it, and then you would add your green seasoning. Listen, the smell was amazing. And of course, once you have that, you got the green seasoning and that pork spice pork thing to cook your rice. You didn't have to worry about anything else about the taste of your food, okay? That's how my grandmother used to make it. Just like we made coffee at my house, they would beat the coffee in the pilon, the big pestle and mortar, and we had our own jar of made coffee grind. And I remember that stuff being strong. Alright, so I'm putting some garlic. You know I'm a garlic girl. It doesn't have to be fine, right? Because everything is going to go in the lentil. And the way I saw this person do the lentil for the burgers, she put all of her lentil in the blender and pulsed it. I'm not doing that. I'm just doing part of it. I'm going to pulse because I still want a little bit of that lentil to be have a little bit of a body. I think the yellow looks pretty good. Huh? So we'll have yellow burgers, yellow patties. All right. So we have our onion and garlic. Now remember, I found these leftover radishes, and I'm going to chop them in there. I'm not going to throw it away. But like I told you, I've seen some humongous radishes in the stores. I'm like, ooh, what do they call it again? Roll something? Rabano. And yesterday, after I finished my class, I did the live at 4. I was like, oh, let me go see if I can find some okra. Because if I had found some okra, today's dish would have been different. But I was like, just like I do a lot. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going outside. So no nahu for us today. Nahu, which is what we call okra here. Nahu. Whew, Jesus. Now when I cook for my cookbook, when I do the recipes, I'm not going to be talking in them. I'm just going to have like some background music. Because once I show the recipe, then I'm going to give you the link to the recipe that I make, and I won't be talking in it. I think that's good. You guys tired of hearing me chatter? I do a lot of that. I saw some not so good looking avocados, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that because it's not avocado season. So whatever I'm going to get is probably going to be disappointing. I was already disappointed too long ago when I got some. And remember, we're not vegan here, so I am going to throw 1 egg into this mixture. And remember, eggs are not your enemies. They are not. A whole egg is a terrific source of protein. So I do crack a couple of eggs, maybe once or twice a week. And I like to eat it with tomatoes. Because because like this week I have had no protein per se. Do you have any fish from Sunday, from the soup? So I remember having some lab work when I went whole food plant-based, and I had to go pay attention to my protein intake and got some vitamin B12 and folate, because I can't, especially as you get older, you need protein to keep your muscles going, right? So be careful, those of you who are going on these extreme diets. I'm telling you, I stopped doing that, but I was watching a lot of young women developing lung cancer who had been really vegan, strict vegan. I don't believe that your body is designed for you to starve it of a whole food group. I don't believe that. And I don't believe in trying to mimic or replicate the very thing that you're trying to stay away from. That does not make no sense to me. You don't want to eat meat, but you like veggie burgers. What's in it? Veggie sausage. What's in it? Veggie butter. What's in it? I don't know. That's just my personal feeling. And don't come at me. If you want to be a vegan, go right ahead, sis. But I just don't ascribe to, oh, I cannot ever have that. It's a cardinal sin. No. Now, I'm staying away from meat because I told you, I've been eating it and it just tears my inside up because I stopped eating it. And my body's like, nope, you don't need this. So that's why. And then rice, it makes me swell up. And I feel like look at that, it looks nice. The radishes, yes. You know, I don't want to do something that doesn't agree with me. What's the point? Right? But, I mean, a steak, I can tell you the last time I had that. Now I'm going to get a little bit of the stock because my veggies are getting really dry here. Up, come this way, come to mommy. Okay. All right. And then we're going to chop when we finish some artichoke and some olives. But I have some peppers that are looking a little bit puny. So I'm going to take a little bit of them. I think it's going to be a nice contrast for my, no, I love peppers so much, but they don't last long. That's why you don't want to buy a bunch of things here. If you're not cooking, like I don't cook after Sunday. So when I have something, if I don't use it, then it goes bad. All right, that. And then green. And we're gonna season it. I'm gonna chop some of that celery leaves. Remember I told you I don't throw that away. And put that in there. That's gonna be a nice filling for the patty. Yes. And if you have anything like, you know, I have some spinach I'm gonna chop in there as well. Yeah. I don't like to throw things away. And I like variety. All right. Let's rinse those. We want the lentil to cook. Oh no, it's so hard. Cover it up. So tomorrow is Independence Day that is going to be celebrated in a place called Los Santos. That's why I'm trying to decide. I went and booked an Airbnb close to that area, and then when the host responded and he's like, oh, we are over an hour from where you're supposed the parade is going to be. And I'm like, oh no, what's the point? And you know, when you in those places, you have to use taxis. And I'm kind of leery of taxis. Especially, and then he said it's 10-minute ride. To me, that's too long. I'm like, no. So I canceled the reservation. And I might just take the bus like I did to go to Cologne last week. And I know they're gonna probably drop me somewhere. I have to do a little walk to get to the area, but that's okay. So I figured if I go early, like around 6, I'll get there about 10, 11. I'll stay for 2 or 3 hours and then head back. So I can get some nice shots for you guys. I need to find out when they're gonna start the parade. I might decide to stay over on tomorrow night and return Tuesday. I could do that. But I'm pretty sure all the hotels are gonna be, you know, booked. And there was this one place that was like a mini farm, and the reviews, people say, oh, don't go to bed early because the animals wake you up in the morning. Have you tried putting the avocados in a brown bag overnight? I also do that with plantains when I want to get them ripe. Oh, no, I haven't done that because the ripe plantains are abundant here. And but avocados, sometimes I do want them to ripen. I'll try that next time. But like I said, this is not avocado season right now. And the avocados I would get, not to my standard, they're not that good. You know? So, I'm not getting them unless it's in season. All right, adobo. And oh, I gotta get some hot peppers, some habanero. That's me, but you don't have to put it in yours, okay? Because I need some heat. Sí, necesito algo caliente. Sabor. Look how beautiful these are. Look, and they're gorgeous. Now these last quite a long time. And like I said before, if you buy any greens here in Panama, try to buy them in these containers. They seem to last a little bit longer than if you buy them in these. I guess it's, you know, the pressure and them, they don't get oxidized fast. So I had half of a habanero here. And of course I'm trying to stay away from the seeds, because that's where the heat is, okay? And also, I had a little bit of a jalapeno. Oh, where is it? Okay, well, that's all right. I don't, oh, there it is. It fell off. I knew I had it. So, let's put a little bit of the habanero in here, just because I like a little heat. It just makes it taste Caribbean. We are caliente. All right. Same thing with the jalapeno. I stay away from the seeds. Okay? I see. And I tell you, when I'm cooking, I have to really watch myself. It's like, Maggie, you're not cooking for you, just for you. Like I have a gathering coming up, And I have to really try to remember not to put hot pepper in everything. Not everybody can handle heat. Now what I'm going to do this time, I found a recipe for the salsa picante that they use here in Panama. It's tomato, peppers, onion, green onion, hot pepper, as many as you want, lime juice. Did they put raspadura in it? They might, because everything has raspadura here, which is the cane sugar. We sell it in blocks here, and all the drinks are flavored with it. Like the Malta that I showed you last time, and the limonada, that's what they use. And when you make the saril that I told you about, that red flour for the holidays, that's how you know, I mean, I have to give them credit for that. Instead of using white sugar, they use that, so I guess that's a good thing. And I heard somebody say yesterday, oh, the Coca-Cola here, you want to be healthy because the Coca-Cola here is not as bad as the Coca-Cola. Listen, I don't agree with that. You know, it gives people the false sense of comfort that they can, you know, drink the soda and it's not going to hurt them. Doctors tell you, do not drink sodas, okay? That's the first thing you need to eliminate from your diet. Drink water. Drink your tea. All right. Now we're going to do... All right, we're gonna do some olives. And make sure they're peated, because there's nothing worse than coming home with with a thing of olive and it's all pitted. And I like to use that solution a little bit in my thing. I put them in salad dressing. I guess I shouldn't, but I do. So once your lentil is cooked, checking on the sweet potatoes and squash. I actually like the black olives better, but these are Spanish olives. And of course they are abundant here. You find them all over. A whole aisle. Now, oh, I love artichokes. But I don't like to cook them. They're like not easy to cook. So, you know, I don't like prepackaged food, but I allow myself, like this one, I'm gonna do it because I'm not gonna make it. Yum, yum. I think I'm going to start the water for the quinoa, because the quinoa does not take long. And this is the thing with the artichoke, the outer layer is tough. Even inside this jar, I can tell the difference. All right, I have to clean this up. All right. And I know I'm going to need to add some acid. But look at that. Isn't that a nice mixture? You're gonna mix your lentil in. So I'm gonna put that in the fridge when it's done so it can cool off a little bit. But I have some spinach that I'm going to get a few of the leaves because I just use these in my stock, the stems. I save them. So we're going to chop them. Yeah, I'll leave the lettuce leaves for my soup because they're a little hardier. This will cook really fast. But you know, you can find the spinach like this because that's pretty cheap. It's like $1 a pack. But you can also find the one in the plastic container. You know, you go to place, I think I see them at Ray as well. You know, of course it's a little pricier, but at least it's not crazy expensive. All right. Okay. I have a whole papaya here that I have not even cut up yet. You know, I went to that little farmer's market last week. I remember I put a video out there. The pineapples weren't that good. Would you consider one of these days showing how to make oxtails? Of course. I stay away from soda no matter where I go. Oxtail, you know, there are a lot of videos out there showing oxtail. But you know, I'm staying away from oxtail these days. But it's not hard. Now, the thing is, there is a Jamaican way of making oxtail, and there is, you know, there are other ways. Because the Jamaican way, they're putting the, you have to cook that brown sugar to give it that taste. And I don't know about putting sugar in my food like that, but. So I think the little artichoke juice, and it does have a little bit of heat, which is fine. I'm gonna put a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to add some dry basil. You know, I'm into basil. I told you. Hopefully I don't hear that it's bad for you. Turmeric, just because it's good for you, I put it in everything. And cumin, somebody better tell me it's good for me because I've been using it in every dish. But I know cumin seed, and you know, in Indian cuisine, you put the ghee or the oil, and then you toast the spices, and that's when they release all that flavor. Okay. All right, we're gonna make sure we don't want it to be too dry because we are counting on it to help with the binding of the patties, right? Let's find the the lime and squeeze some lime in. You know, I bought lime the other day, 8 for $1. You know, lime or lemon juice is like a stabilizer. It just brings the flavor together. And you want to do it at the end also because it's just, you want that freshness, right, of this beauty here. Okay. All right. So, woo, does have a little heat. All right. We're gonna put that in the fridge. I need something to put it on. Now, let's check on our lentil. It's taking a little while. Oh my goodness. I think it's almost, but it hasn't released itself yet. Whew. Oh, it is hot. All right, let's leave that one here for the, we're gonna do the quinoa. So I have the water here already for the quinoa. And put stuff back in. We have to make sure we also let our lettuce leaves soak in some kind of water to make sure we remove any impurities. Okay. Now this is for the stock. You know I have to have a clean surface when I cook. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit of salt, little bit of oil, and that's all this quinoa needs. Todo esto es todo. And I only have a little bit of the quinoa. I don't have a lot because I'm trying to keep the grains out of my kitchen. But I got plenty of beans though. So we're gonna use this one. I need to get a few more bowls. I really do. To rinse it out. All right. So now let's check on the squash and the sweet potato. Here it is. The sweet potatoes here, I am telling you, they are different. All right, so I need another something. So we're gonna put the sweet potatoes here and I'm gonna try to mash them. I don't wanna wait till they're cold. I'm gonna use a fork and mash them while this lentil is trying to finish cooking. The house gets really warm when we have a lot of burners on. All right, let's see what I can do with this. See, the squash is always so easy to mash, but I get you, the sweet potatoes are gonna give me fits because they're just not like our sweet potato that we're used to. Because remember, you're making patties, you still want some type of a body to it. When I saw this recipe, this lady put all the lentil, and it turns into this mushy, like mashed potato stuff. And I'm like, no. No sis, not like that. But I did find a place where I can buy some sweet potatoes. Well, the one that I got looked a little bit decent. You see, there is an outer thing here with the sweet potatoes. So I'm gonna have to take that off because it's not the core. I want the outer off. And just see if I can just use the core. You see? This is the adjustment that you have to deal with when you're abroad, okay? And I think I was doing some research for a topic that I'm going to talk about on a video. And then this ChatGPT kept saying something about adjusting to this, adjusting to that. I'm like, yep, I know what you mean. That's what I've been doing. You have to adjust to the environment. That's why I say, okay, if you don't have it, well, let's go to plan B. No garam masala, no cumin seed. Okay, we can't do that. Let's do something else. And we don't have to, fuss over it. All right, the water's already boiling for the quinoa. Let's give it a rinse. Rinsing quinoa is a pain. Remember, like I said, quinoa doesn't require as much water, ooh. But you know what I did now? I forgot to use my stock. Oh, well. I sure did. You see what happened when you try to rinse quinoa? Yep. I forgot to use my stock, but that's okay. I can still use it for something else, for my soup. All right. Goodness, the lentils are still not cooked. So I guess next time I'm making soup, I know to get this kind because it is taking a little while. So that would do well with my fish. Okay, I know what I want to make next time. I'm going to make a seafood gumbo. Ah, so I need shrimp. I got fish. You know, there's a mix that you can buy at the fish market. It's got all kinds of things in it. So I think I'm going to get a little bit of that and then get some shrimp separately because the shrimp is amazing here. They have some real big ones. So I'm going to wait till after the holidays, maybe, I don't know, early December to buy that because right now all the seafood is expensive. All right. Oof. Wow. Tastes like sweet potato though. This one does. All right, I think the lentil is the one holding us now. So let us check this. Need a stronger fork. I mean, I roasted it because I like the taste of it being roasted, but you can boil this too. It's a pain right now. Ugh. You're making me very hungry again. Hey, Nana, how are you? My goodness, I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't watched your video in a while. I've been so busy. I know you're banging it, Nana. We're doing lentils today. Okay, I think that's good. It's a little bit of a challenge, but you know, it's like, you think you can challenge me, but I am stronger. I mean, I just believe in eating clean, that's all. And you know, in Peru, the quinoa is divine. You love making seafood gumbo for the holidays. Okay. Oh, now you're giving me ideas. For my holiday party, my Friendsgiving, we are definitely going to have a turkey, but I'm trying to figure out what other protein. Oh, Lord. Maybe we'll make some oven-baked fried chicken. How can that be? Baked fried chicken, that's an oxymoron. You can't have that. And I don't have an air fryer. Everybody has an air fryer, and I'm like, no, I don't have one. But when you have a lot of people coming, that probably wouldn't work. Oh my goodness. Trust the lentil to give me fit. All right, I'm going to put them in the dish that I'm going to use to mix, to do the mixing. Now see, there's some fibrous things from the sweet potato that does not belong in my burger patties, so I got to take them off. That's why, you know, I like squash. Squash is very compliant and pliable. Not the sweet potato here. They're feisty. So we're getting our pretty bowl out. I love this little bowl. Alright. We'll put our sauteed mix in here. I'm going to clean this because this is what I'm going to use to do my patties because I swear by it. I don't like the other skillet. I use my cast iron lately. But for gumbo, I better make sure I find some okra. Yes. All right. So we're gonna take our lettuce and we're gonna soak some of the leaves. Our tomatoes are clean now. Alright, so we're gonna put our leaves in here. You know, it's hydroponic, you know what they call them? Hydroponic. So it's got the roots if somebody wanted to, you know, grow it, I guess. I'm not much of a gardener. I don't know if I ever will be, but I definitely love a garden, but maybe I'm too lazy. I just don't want to put in the work. Ooh, I just want to enjoy the fruit of the garden. All right, here is one. Here is two. Here is three. Did you say four? Here is four. Let's do an extra one just in case one doesn't work out. And then after that, the rest of it is for me to make a salad. All right? Okay. Yep, the quinoa is drying up. A little vinegar in here to soak the lettuce leaves. I cannot believe how long it's taking this thing. So like I said, next time I know, I need to get these peas for my soup. Still not there yet. I'm sorry, you guys. So we're gonna put an egg in here too. And then breadcrumbs, which I have. You do. And that's why people say, oh, you're all over the place. Let me share with us what you do to get so much energy. Well, I do eat clean. I don't sleep enough now. That's I get to bed and my phone, I'm watching a drama or something. Sometimes I wake up and my glasses are on. That means I fell asleep with my glasses. What takes 45 minutes? The lentil? Okay, so I'm gonna turn the heat down for the quinoa and cover it. I don't put anything else on it. That's it. No more oil or anything else. So it's good. Oh, you mean oh yeah. Well, this has been, yeah, it's been going for longer than 45 minutes. But I think if I was making soup, it would be perfect. But just because I decided I'm gonna make the patties, I think that's why it's giving me a little bit of a fit. But I think maybe 5 minutes, leaving it on here in the Dutch oven, it's gonna be good. And I'm only going to blend part of it, not all of it, because I don't want it to be totally mushed. And then we just cook them. Oh, we can work on our sauce right now, trying to figure out what we're going to do as a sauce to top. Now this is something I'm gonna try right here live with y'all. So we will see. Let's put that away over here. You know, it's like when I make fruit salad, I cut up all the fruit, and I like fresh fruits, right? And I take yogurt, lime juice, a little bit of the pineapple juice, and then you put nutmeg, cinnamon, a little bit of salt, and then you blend it together, and then you pour it over the fresh fruit. And that's a good dressing for the fruit. Thank you. Well, you know, that's the thing though. I do my workout Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 o'clock. So I put my clock, my alarm on for 7:30, but I'm usually up before that. So I can't sleep in. So I love Tuesdays and Thursdays because those are the days where I don't have to get up early. I love Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I could be in the bed till like 10, 11, which is really luxury for me because I was never like that. And then Saturdays, I usually have to go to the fish market, so I get up early. Especially now that it's gonna be dry season, it's gonna be hot early. So I get up like at 6:30, I hit the market at 7, and I'm home by 8. And even then, I'm sweating at 8 a.m. And then Sunday morning, that's when I go to the other regular food store to get stuff. So I was out this morning, I got up at 6:30. So that's my week, and I cannot nap. Lately, I notice if I'm really, really tired and I sit on the couch, I could take a nap sitting up for like 5 minutes, a power nap. This is the funniest thing. I'm like, did I fall asleep sitting up here? Yes. So, yeah, retirement is fun. I never thought it would be this fun, but it is. All right, let's see what we're gonna do. Let's put them in here. We don't need a whole lot because it's like an experiment. And this is kind of a weird looking sour cream that is made here, not, you know, my, what's that, that brand that I like? It's like in a, no, the Bridgestone is cottage cheese. What's the other brand for sour cream? I forgot. But a lot of times they'll make a local brand, but it's nothing like you're used to. Okay, so I'm just telling you. So I'll tell you what it tastes like. It's different. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Now this is going to be over the patties. So I'm going to use the liquid from the artichokes. I might even cut up a little bit of the olives. We're trying to make a dressing that we're gonna put on top of our patties. I want to be able to just, it's a little bit too thick. Yeah, we need a little bit more. Good thing we have some more. If I didn't have that, I could put a little bit of my stock, and then I would have to season it, you know, salt, pepper, and I'm gonna put some herbs. Now this is something I'm creating in my head right now, okay? Because if you're gonna have those patties, it's gonna be dry. You need something. All right, I like that consistency, right? Okay, so we're gonna do cumin for sure. No, not that. And then some dry herbs, definitely. This is basil. We're gonna put pepper, ground pepper. And let's see. I want some dry parsley. Yes, perejil, parsley. Okay. Maybe salt. No oil in this. Definitely salt. This is where in this dressing, what you would need, some fresh dill would be perfect with that. Thought I had some. And it's probably old and gray. This is the dill from last week. Oh, old and gray. Let's see if I can save something to put in here. Oh, see, that's why I don't buy a lot of them, because once I use it once, that's it. Yeah, too old. So I'm gonna wait and put the squeezed lime juice when I'm ready to serve it, right? Because just in case there is any kind of reaction that goes and it starts looking like it's curdling, I don't want that. But I will put, I'm gonna chop a few olives. And then I'm gonna put some of that green onion and that parsley. Yep, we're gonna do that. We're gonna dress it up. Just use your imagination. Isn't that fun? And you can just say, let's try a little bit of this. Let's try a little bit of that. Why not? I absolutely love this part of cooking. The creativity just gets me so excited. And you know what would good in that? I looked at it, capers. If you had capers, you chop a few capers in this little dressing, because that's what you're making. You're making a dressing for the patties. Okay. Put it in here. Yeah, I think I went a little heavy. Yeah, I don't put any more in there. All right. A little bit of parsley. Gonna rinse it out. And this little green onion, remember? So we're gonna take one of them, and then we're gonna chop it and put it in there. All right. Chop. Yeah. In you go. Yes. All right. And the onion. But I don't want the white part. I want the green part, right? Because that's what I want the contrast for the dressing. The dressing already has white. You see how I'm drying the handle? When my hands are wet and the handle is wet, it might slip and I might cut myself. So I'm gonna have a whole section on kitchen safety in the cookbook. All right, and that's it. Oh, that should do it. And all it's gonna need now is a splash of that lime juice. Oh, it looks so good. Look at that. It reminds me of when I used to make aioli at the cafe. Look at that. You put that on a piece of steak, not chicken, and then it's like, it's gonna be the perfect dressing. Look at that. It's really good. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the fridge, okay? Anita, nice to see you too. You know, when I am here in this kitchen, I'm just so excited because this is my lab. I need to call it Maggie's lab, because that's where I create stuff. And some simple, right? Like I told you, this lady's like, oh, you're just a regular cook. I'm more high end. And I'm like, okay. I never said I wanted to be high end. I just want to cook food that is healthy and that tastes good. That's all. Because as long as you understand the principle of cooking, this is what culinary school did for me. I was already, I love to cook. I didn't say I was a good cook, but look at this quinoa. Perfect. Perfect. And then it's got a lot of protein in it. So sometimes I'll just throw some green peas in there. I would shock the green peas, in that boiling water like I do, and then put it in there at the end and mix it and add some fresh herb. That's all. Hola, Debbie. Debbie, I'm making some lentils today. And these lentils I bought, yellow lentils, they're kicking my you-know-what, because they're taking forever to cook. I was gonna make a dal, which is an Indian type of dish, but I could not get the spices I need. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take my take my chance and mix this this split peas. Maybe it wasn't lentil, maybe it was just split peas. Because lentil doesn't take that long. Lentejas. Okay. So that's what, so what we're gonna make with those, Debbie, we make some patties. Not mini patties, you know, like a nice little size. And we're gonna use some lettuce and make lettuce wrap, lettuce boats. All right, so I'm going to, the quinoa is good, so we don't need that. I'm gonna blend some of it. Whew. Now this is gonna be an exercise. Make sure I blend the garlic that I put in here. It's all about flavor, right? The celery. Now I'm gonna go dry for now and then add the liquid later if I need it. It's just like salt. It's always best to use a little bit and then add later. Because once you put it in, if I mess up the consistency here, I can't, you know, use my cornstarch to thicken it. All right, so let's blend this for now. And in the recipe, I saw this lady threw her egg in there. I'm not gonna put the egg in something so hot. It doesn't make sense. You see, this is the thing. When you're cooking, you have to understand the principle of cooking. All right, let's see. All right, we're gonna pulse. Vamos para la calle. It worked. I think so. All right, let's see what we got. Well, we still have the breadcrumbs that we can use in there because, you know, we're just trying to make sure that we can form the patties. All right. So here we have squash, sweet potato. You could use regular potatoes if you want. I didn't need to put that little bit of liquid in there, but we're gonna make it work. Ooh. It is hot. So this means, and another thing that I like to put in my mix like that, all right? So I just dumped whatever was in here. So now the challenge begins in trying to get it to the right consistency, correct? Okay. I'm always up for a challenge. Listen. All right, so right now it's a little bit wet. So I have my plain breadcrumbs, or you could use panko. And another thing, like I was gonna say, I like to put in my mix like that is a little bit of corn mix. Yes. So, yep, that's feel better. Not that. All right. A little bit of cornmeal. You know, you've heard my story about how hard I've been trying to find the right consistency of cornmeal, and oh boy. But let me tell you what I found that works Excellent. Not here. Somebody bought it for me from California. Is this Stone Ground Palmetto Farms cornmeal. Stone Ground yellow cornmeal. Oh, it says grits. Grits. But the consistency is exactly what I need to make cornmeal. But this is yellow grits. It's not like white grits that you know, like the way you know it. But that's been a struggle. So Maria, if you're reading, thank you so much for bringing it. Bring some more when you come back. Now see, this is what you're dealing with, trying to get this mixture to the right consistency, because I'm going to already start this because we have been playing around with this thing. I don't like to use flour, although you could. But if I'm looking and I'm like, okay, can I make a patty out of this? And then I'm trying to see what the consistency is. And that's how I know I've gotten the right consistency. Okay? So now I'm going to taste it. Make sure it doesn't need anything else before I start. It's really, really good. No more liquid. No liquid allowed. But I'm putting a little bit more of the adobo. And then I'm going to squeeze some lime juice. You know how we do. You always have to finish it off with some lime. It just adds that little bit of freshness to your dish. Okay? Or lemon. As I said, it's a binder or finisher, I could call it. Just brings everything together. Ooh. Beautiful. So I need to get a dish ready for the patties, because these are not going to take long to cook. Okay? So we're going to put a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter. So relax, don't clutch your pearls if you see the butter, okay? It's okay. That's not what's gonna send you to have a heart attack. We get so terrified. All right. Nice. And this is the thing. I could be here by myself and I'm still having fun. You know what I mean? So, you know, when you're a cook, you're doing your thing, you just hope people enjoy it. But if they don't, you still enjoy yourself, right? Okay. So Mary and Sheila, if you guys are watching, if you want to try this, I know it's no meat, let me know. You can just come, knock on the door, and I'll be here waiting for you. So now I have to think of the size, because this is what I'm going to put on the lettuce leaves, maybe 2 or 3. So they can't be too big, okay? Now I'm going to need my spatula to turn them over, because these are very, very fragile. Okay? This is not going to be the kind of patties. You know, sometimes I can use the same mixture and make burgers, you know, make them round. But you can't take those and just throw them like in a gravy. They're going to fall apart in there. So you have to really think and how you use them. Peppers get a nice contrast, don't they? Yes. It's okay. Play with your food. So, You would have said, who would have thought you could do this to lentil? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So now, if I don't share with my sisters downstairs, I can eat this for the rest of the week, right? I can even freeze some of them. Put them in a container, put them in the freezer, and then if I want to use them the next day, take them out of the freezer and put them in the fridge, right? So, because of time, it's already 1:36, we've been here. I'm just gonna do these and then dress the lettuce wrap, and I'll do the rest myself later. I'm taking the lettuce leaves out and letting them dry. I'm thinking of the song that for Easter, when Jesus is going to, running to encounter Mary, that's the song they sing. Okay. Then I'm putting in another dish with paper towel to drain these. So you're not serving greasy food. I really love Semana Santa here, Holy Week. I really, really like it. And everybody's dancing. So I'm getting this ready for my dressing that we're gonna put. In the meantime, while I'm waiting, we're going to slice the tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes. And for that, I need a knife with teeth because we're gonna slice them in half to make our salad. You gotta multitask, right? I think I have some dressing in the refrigerator that I made, like a Dijon vinaigrette. So we're gonna toss these tomatoes in there with some cucumbers. All right. Now you see how you have to be careful. This thing will soak up the oil. So you have to drain it on a paper towel. Gently. They are very delicate. So if you might say, oh my God, I'm gonna break him. Yeah, you might. It takes practice. Practice makes perfect. Okay? I didn't start being able to do any of this. It took me time. But because I'm in the kitchen a lot, then you learn to do things a little bit better. It's like the first time you cook, like maybe oxtail or rice and peas, and then you might be, oh, it's not that good, and you do it again and again and again. And that's how you get better at cooking, like anything else. I believe we are done. And then we're gonna get the cucumber. Make sure we take the fluid out. All right. Pepino. That's how we say cucumber. And pepino. I think I want to peel this one this time. I don't want any of that skin in the salad. Sometimes I take part of it off, but today I don't think I want to leave any of the skin on. All right, I think we are probably ready. Yes. This one needs a flip. Move this over here, put this in the middle. Oh yeah. No. Vamos, papi. Okay. Y two. Alright. These are a little soft, so I need to put them in the middle. But the others, I'm going to put on a dish to drain. Papi, color.